A lot of agents, it falls to the fact that they're not making enough to survive, which is a big shame. It's because they're not following these frameworks. So if you're doing a cold calling script, how many people are getting past the intro? You are a sales rep. Hands down, you are a sales rep. It doesn't matter if you're in this business to help people. Sales is the nature of being a real estate agent. A lot of people's referral networks are either small or they just take a long time to come around again. Are you here to grow or are you just here to make money? You can do both. If you want to stop making RE a part-time thing and make it a full-time thing, target these 4 things. If your real estate business isn't growing, there's 4 main reasons as to why that's happening, and they're very simple reasons, and I can guarantee if you're not doing these 4 things, this is exactly why your business isn't growing and why you're staying there from years, months, or even weeks. If your business has grown in weeks, there's a reason for it. But before we get into that, I'm going to quickly explain why that is and through this amazing Miro board that I always seem to love making. But before I get into what this actually is all about, my name's Dylan Kirk. I'm the CEO and founder of Estato, and we basically hyper focus on quality and building advertising systems for real estate agents instead of quantity. So we put a big focus on quality. The deals are highly likely going to close, but you're just not going to get as many of them, which I find is much more efficient, and it wastes the agent's time far less. So that's what we basically do. And so I have it through a Miro board. So while your RE business isn't growing, this is going to be a main focus in terms of timing. So a lot of business owners in general, a lot of people in general waste a lot of time doing things they really shouldn't be doing. So this can either be down to either your focus is gone away, you're hyper focusing on the wrong thing, which is really, really common, or it's the fact that you just have no idea what to focus on day to day, which is a little bit rarer, but it can happen. So there are 4 main focuses. You're either not focusing on lead gen, focusing on higher sales conversions, getting better sales, raising your commission or shopping around, more into that later, and increasing your LTV or expanding your referral network. If you're not focusing on one of these 4 things day to day, this is why your business isn't growing. This is all you should be thinking about day to day, unless there is a bigger priority that's now taken over. For example, if it turns out your website's down, well then maybe you do need to improve that. That is the next focus. Is it the case that maybe you need to focus on those T's and C's or that legality issue with a client? Okay, that is a pressing issue. But unless that is happening every single day, every single hour of your day, then you should be focusing on these. There's no excuse. In the same way that if you ever read a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, where it focuses on 20% of what you do in the business affects 80%, and 80% of what you do in the business only affects 20%. That's essentially the same logic behind this, and this is the 4 main things you should be targeting on. So, starting off with lead gen. So 3 things to increase with lead gen, or 3 ways to actually act on with lead gen. You have advertise more, which is the vertical scaling method we'll get into. A completely new way to advertise, which I don't recommend unless you're getting coached to do it. Or be more efficient with your current advertising, i.e. focusing on the quality instead of quantity. So there's 2 ways to go about it. You either go quantity or quality. Eventually you have volume or quality, which is the best of both worlds. So starting with quantity, paid ads. If you're doing paid ads already, first of all, I'm really happy for you because not many realtors capitalize paid ads in the advertising space. So yeah, double your ad spend. Just very simply double your ad spend. If you're doing $10 a day, do 20. If you're doing $20, 40, etc. If you're getting 10 leads for $50 a day ad spend in a week, then double it because then you will see 20 leads a week. Sounds silly, sounds simple. That's exactly how ad spend works. Ad spend essentially works as basically like a countdown. So if you're putting so much into ad spend, so let's say, again, the great example, 10 leads a week, you're basically halving that time. So 100 a day, instead of getting 20 leads every 2 weeks, you get 20 leads every week, if that makes sense. So you're essentially halving that time. Flyers, don't really recommend flyers, but I know a lot of agents do it. Double the amount you're currently sending. It's the same thing with brochures, same thing with door knocking. I really don't recommend door knocking, but if you are going to do those physical routes, if you are going to more focus on those certain methods, then just double what you're doing. Same thing with cold calls. Terrifying thought, but doing more cold calls. If you're doing 100 a day, do 200. If you're doing 200 a day, do 400. Now, I don't recommend increasing the volume if it's not efficient. If it's not optimal to do that, I don't recommend this, but we'll get into that. The point is, whatever you're doing outreach-wise, the safest way to do it is the safest way to scale is by doing more. Very, very simple. And it's the safest way to do it, rather than trying out a new idea or trying to be more efficient. Either way, with these 2, you have to do something different. But if the vertical way isn't going, if the vertical method isn't cutting it, then you go down these routes. So it could be the case that what you're doing right now isn't really working for your market. So maybe it's about trying something you've never done before, such as paid ads, again, flyers, maybe door knocking, cold calling, stuff like that. Another one thing I recommend though, don't do it yourself. Do not ever, ever, ever do this yourself. Get coached. Get coached. I don't care if it's inside the brokerage or outside. So looking at the outreach examples mentioned and just hire someone. So again, try all these out. Paid ads is something I recommend personally, but you can do whatever you want. But looking at the outreach examples, it doesn't have to be from inside the brokerage to hire someone. The coach doesn't have to be with the company. I know it's the safest way of doing it, but usually what happens is the person who's inside the brokerage, they might be okay or they might have some knowledge, but they don't specialize in it. They're in the brokerage for a reason. They have some sort of role, but their entire main focus isn't on advertising. It isn't on being like Jeremy Minor and being the best cold caller, right? Stuff like that. The reason why a lot of people go for outside help is because they specialize in that. With the brokerage, they're juggling a bunch of plates, and it's just they happen to know one particular thing about paid advertising, or they know about sales or something like that. That's the logic behind it, and that's why a lot of people go to outside help. Credentials are important though. So this isn't just me saying go with Facebook company, marketing company 504. Not like that. Credentials. So you can either look for other products, what have they done in the past, how they helped me in the past, or looking for some sort of trust or value they've given you. For example, are they giving you a free ebook on how to increase your business yourself? Are they giving you a free guide on, a free tailored plan to increase your business personally? Something like that. If it's something they're actually giving you value for and they're not just scamming you, then that's when I recommend it. If they actually are legit, if they've helped you in some way or another. Websites being a big thing, social media presence, etc. They don't have to have all those points, just in case you're cautious. Some people just want to go like full on. They don't really care because their business is in the toilet. They just want to full on look for anyone who has any idea of marketing and just go that direction. Don't really recommend that because that's an easy way to get burned by advertising and marketing. But yeah, look for one of these three things: testimonials, social media presence, or websites. All three is a bonus. Now, quality. So being more efficient with your advertising or improving the quality of your advertising. So with paid ads, improving the quality, I've done tons of videos on the channel at this point. I say tons, there's about 3 or 4. Well, from the point of watching this video, you've probably seen 4 or 5. But paid ads, I've got multiple ways to improve it, from CPC, doing your cost per acquisition, cost per click, your CTR, and how to change your landing page or how to make it most optimal. Or actually, no, the opposite actually. Don't focus on your landing page unless you're focusing on 5 particular things that I highlight. Flyers or cold calling, look at the data and review. It's so easy to track data now, it's ridiculous. And if you're not seeing a change or you're not seeing enough data to warrant a change, or maybe the data isn't enough to make a change, be more specific. So if you're doing a cold calling script, how many people are getting past the intro? How many people are getting past the second line, the explanation? How many people are wanting to move forward with you? What are the typical objections you get? What are the typical responses you get? Be hyper focused, and I will guarantee that data gathering will be your best friend when it comes to improving your quality or improving your acquisition in general. Next up is higher sales conversion or getting better at sales. So first and foremost, I know a lot of agents feel this way, but you are a sales rep. Hands down, you are a sales rep. It doesn't matter if you're in this business to help people. Sales is the nature of being a real estate agent. That's kind of a fact. It's one of the biggest niches that is very public with sales, because a lot of people like to hide the fact it's a very salesy job. But it's one of the most popular sales jobs there are, just hands down. Sales tactic works just as well in RE as they do in any other niche. And as I should know, on the other end of it, a lot of RE agents are natural sales reps, so you can imagine how I feel hopping on calls with them. But there needs to be ingrained subconsciously. You can't just say, oh, okay, I'm a person in sales now. You need to get it through your head that you are a sales rep, you're a salesperson. This is what you do for a living. Your entire persona and your entire brand is based around you. So that's kind of what sales is like. You need to make sure that you are the best person, because you are the end product, remember? So you need to remember that you're selling yourself, not directly, but partly. So if your energy is off, the moment you speak to a prospect, the sale will never happen. It will never happen. If you either are having a rough day, or you feel shy, or you're not feeling yourself, prospects going to see right through that, and you're never going to close. So just keep that in mind. You will have permanent off days in RE. Some people in sales have off days, days for a reason. You will have off weeks or off months if you don't understand that you are in sales. The rules who fall behind are those who view sales negatively. If you view sales as scammy, if you view sales as beneath you, you will never make it. That's that's a brutally honest truth. All you need to change your definition of success to average. So if you said, "Oh, I've gotten this far and I've never even considered sales," congratulations. Welcome to your peak. Welcome to your peak. You will never go further than this unless you focus on sales. So just had to get that out there. So now that you're aware that you're a sales rep, you need to start acting like one and start improving like one. So daily reviews, coaching, watching winning games. So coaching for brokerage or outside help. So again, from, as I said before with lead gen, just having some sort of coaching or some sort of guide for this sort of stuff is a massive help. With sales, you can kind of do it yourself by looking online, but unless you know what you're looking for, and especially in your niche, and depending on what kind of prospects you're talking to, you need to have a personalized approach to sales. So if you don't know any like coaching, or you think the brokerage sales teachers aren't really many help, then Google, see what's out there. There are plenty of good salespeople out there, but again, follow the rule of, products, testimonials, websites, etc. How is anyone in your brokerage actually work with someone that is outside the brokerage who's good, or if they notice any significant improvement? Look for something like that. So sales reps aren't cheap, or sales coaches aren't cheap. They do cost a pretty penny, but you will make that back. If they're a good sales rep and you're working together and you're working really well together, that is more of an investment than it is, I've been conned out of like $500 or $1,000 a month because this sales guy was meant to teach me stuff and didn't happen. First of all, you take an accountability, but second of all, they might have been not a great coach. But this is where you look through past testimonials, you look through the past products, see their track record online, and go from there. Make your own judgment. Find a way to record every sales interaction with a prospect. So a simple way to make it legal is by announcing to the prospect that they are being recorded for commercial purposes. Very simple. You just need to make it seem like a formality before you and the prospect can interact, just to make sure everything's all good. If they start pushing it a bit more, just say, you kind of have to do this, or this is just me trying to improve in my business. This is just us looking at past successes, looking at past reviews, and just seeing how we can improve our service to help you out more, if that makes sense. So once you record, review. This is where coaching can be really, really, really handy. So depending on what you're doing, again, either door knocking or just public sales interactions or on the phone sales interactions, get a coach and review. I cannot stress the importance of either self-review or coaching any more than I can right now. Combined with a coach, your sales will go up. If you are consistently following this through, that is going to happen. So next one is raising your commission or shopping around. So with the brokerage, with regards to your brokerage, there might be a certain cap on a certain limit on how much you can actually make per deal. Obviously, another one is based on your, obviously the house value and stuff like that. But this is where we can start improving that. So number one is changing your kind of client. So with changing your kind of client, you're on about targeting the right prospect here. So the right prospect is going to be focusing on more sellers than buyers, because sellers by default are, you will get more commission out of it than buyers. It is harder. A lot of agents I speak to prefer to work with buyers over sellers, but in some case they do say buyers are liars. So it really depends on the market, depends on the niche. But overall, sellers seem better. And targeting high-end households. So as well as say, I've targeted investment properties, luxury apartments, and the easiest way to penetrate these, or at least to find people, this is where it goes to lead gen a bit as well, is by just asking a lot of people. Just a lot of people. It's the easiest way to penetrate these markets that a lot of people don't know about. Referrals, just asking people can really point you in the right direction with a simple ask. I get it. I know this market can be rough for a lot of people, right? But is there anyone that is having difficulty selling, or you're trying to relocate, anything like that? Very, very simple ask, and it's not going to seem like begging. They understand what you're doing. They understand that you're looking for business. You're looking to help people. I think people confuse the two. Business cards, again, big one. Some kind of long-lasting advertisement that can be passed around physically. So I'm not going to say it start doing billboards unless you've got that kind of budget, but I would go more into like business cards, or either keeping in touch with referrals, buying them coffees, that sort of stuff. There, very typical stuff, but they do go a long way. With investment properties, you can do geofarming. It's time consuming depending on the area. It can be quite rough. Or paid advertising. Just throwing it out there. Infinite control over what kind of prospect you want, especially if you're new to a market. If you've just come from an area, if you've just moved into an area, Paid ads can be the fastest way instead of geo farming, because paid advertisement, depending on what platform you use as well, you can actually narrow it down to household income. You can narrow it down to what their motivations are, what they plan to do, etc. The location as well, so you're not traveling 50, 100 miles just to reach to a seller. It turns out to be like $250,000. Creating partnerships and relationships as well. Now this is where expanding on the referral network could be a big help, but referrals, business meetings, events, networking. This is a massive who you know business niche. It's huge. You can't get away by just being solo. This is not a solo business niche. You depend on people. The right investor can easily double your monthly commission. And this is why referrals are the main base for basically all realtors. It's safe, it's easy, and you know they're going to convert. But a lot of people's referral networks are either small, they can be sometimes inconsistent, or they just take a long time to come around again. And they can be really, really slow, which is why you need something in the meantime, or expand the referral network to a point where you don't even consider time being a factor, because you know a deal is going to come around any second. Create as many great relationships as possible, because you never know what's going to happen. Imagine like keeping plates spinning. Keep as many going as much as you can. This in itself, just from this point here, this little point here, I've just explained how to solve any business issue with just raising your commission or shopping around. A lot of agents, it falls to the facts that they're not making enough to survive, which is a big shame. And that's the whole statistic of where 89% of realtors fall out in their first 5 years. It's because they're not following these frameworks. If you're not focusing on these 4 areas, give up now. Give up now, because you're never going to make it. If you're not focusing on these 4 areas, you're going to fail. I guarantee if you follow all 4 of these, you are going to succeed. You're going to smash your top monthly commission. You're going to smash your personal best. And you may even be a top performing agent in your area with no real hassle. So just think about this. Like, you need an honest reflection as well. I know we skipped over this part, but I just wanted to reiterate the point that a referral network and good relationships is vital in the business. It's vital in the RE niche. Are you in this role to help or to grow? Because you just need to reflect yourself. Are you here to help or to grow? And if you made it this far in the video, the chances are you are here to grow. You are here to grow and you want to expand. You want to scale, right? Think about this though. You can do both. I never understood this point of people wanting to do one or the other. Are you here to grow or are you just here to make money? You can do both. I don't know where these categories came from. We do one or the other. Like, there's no RE agent doing this for free. Like, there's no real estate agent that is, on a entirely $0 basis. You have to work. You have to work. It's simply you have to work. You can't, like, a lot of people do RE part-time, but that's mainly because they can't scale, they can't grow, and it's usually because of these areas here. If you want to stop making RE a part-time thing and make it a full-time thing, target these 4 things. I've just solved your business. I've just solved all your business issues in this simple video. So think about this. You can do both. The more you grow and the more resources you have available, the more people you can help. So a great example is Microsoft. PCs wouldn't be what they are today without them. I mean, kind of ironic that I'm using a MacBook for this video, but you get my point. Could you imagine Microsoft decided they only wanted to help people in their hometown? What would PCs look like today? Would we even have the devices we would have right now? Like, it wouldn't be the case unless they decided to grow and expand. So you can say that as a bad example, but just think about a massive tech company or a massive company in general that has helped a lot of people out, helped a lot of people, or they've transformed something completely. Could you imagine they only helped in their local area? Same thing with Apple. There you go, case in point, MacBook. Like, if Apple only decided to help in their particular area and not expand, what would the world look like? Same thing with Amazon. What if Amazon decided to only work in the US, right? That'd be crazy. Like, you get paid off compensation. The more people you help, the more you are compensated. You are compensated for the work you put in and for the problem you solve. If you're not helping a lot of problems, you're not going to get very well compensated. But if you're helping a lot of people out and you're helping them out well, you'll get very, very compensated. You will easily smash your monthly commission. That's what I say. Increasing LTV, expanding your referral network. The 4th and final point, and this really dives down into just doing more of already what's working. So you can see this as a vertical scaling method as well, but it's just having the customers you have, having the clients you have, and just getting more out of them. Now, this isn't the case of like, this isn't a immoral thing to be like, oh, just squeeze your clients for as much money as you can. Not like that. We want to help them. Again, we want to help out. So 3 ways to do it. Number one, implement a strong post-close nurture system. So the way we want to do this is by setting up automated but actually personalized follow-ups. So either anniversary check-in, home value updates, or neighborhood news. So just making sure that everyone's staying up to date and making sure that you are a constant pressing figure in the person's life. Depending if you sold a house for them months ago, a month ago, or even just recently, you're still in their lives no matter what. So you can invite past clients, client appreciation events, or local workshops. It's one of those things. Events do so well, and this is what I mean. It's not a solo business. Events are crucial. Business meetings are crucial. And having a deep referral network, an expansive referral network, is so crucial. So you can use email, text, occasional gifts, so holiday cards, home maintenance tips, or as I said earlier, buy a coffee. This can be, so when it comes to automation and stuff like that, you can do it through Go High Level. And for the record, I am affiliated with Go High Level. I'm not saying that to, use Go High Level, but it's just more the fact that if you have a code with me and it's Go High Level, you'll get an extended 7-day free trial. So you have 14 days to figure out, or 21 days if I remember correctly. You have 14 to 21 days to try it out and actually see if it's worth for you. You can see it out, test it out, use different guides online and stuff like that. It's really not that hard of a tool. But yeah, just for the record, I am affiliated. I will have a link in the description if you do want to try it out. I won't get paid at all for it. It's nothing like that. But yeah, it's just to help out. So if you do, however, if you do end up doing a trial period and you go past the trial period, I will get a portion of it. Just being out there, just for my sake, for the eagle's sake, I'm just throwing it out there. But I also do recommend Zapier, which I'm not affiliated with at all. So I'm just giving you options here. Zapier is a great one. It's more freedom, especially around making your days easier. Zapier has access to automate your calendars and stuff like that. And in all, just make your day-to-day computer use, or if there's certain documents you hate making and stuff like that, Zapier is a great tool for that. Very good tool. So next one is expand into multiple transaction types. So what I basically mean by this is about educating prospects during the process about future options, right? So you can imagine it as future upselling. This is the way I see it. So it's about doing about rental property investing, second homes, or just generally upgrading. So this is something where you can utilize FOMO and try out upselling. So it is kind of like future upselling or like a future tie down, depending on how you want to see it. But it's basically just saying, if you just say it in a way of like, hey, the market's moving rapidly right now, this could be your chance to, upsell or get that second home you've always been looking for in this location. If they say, oh man, I've always wanted a second home, or like a going away home in this area, then you just keep them posted about that news and go, well, great, that that's now gone down. This is your best time to buy that. This is your best time to invest in that. Let's set up a meeting. Very, very simple, but that increases the LTV very easily. Offer value-added services, so investor consultations, vendor connections for remodeling, or home equity reviews. It's just, offer value is so important, especially in the niche. Well, in any niche is very important, but especially person to person where you are the product, this is crucial. Having the offer value services like the consultation, stuff like that, can really help out. It's the same thing with paid advertising, but that's for another video. And you use segmentation to market relevant services based on the client's life stage. So again, are they looking to downsize? Are they looking to upsize? Like, depending on what they're doing, you can just market around them and just say, hey, this trend is happening because you want to downsize, or this trend's happening because you want to upsize, or maybe you just want to get a good evaluation because you don't know where the market's going to go. Then stuff like that really helps. And again, it goes back to the offer value. So the final one as well is leverage a referral reward or ambassador program. So this is something where you can create like a structured referral program, very simply, like having tiered rewards, gifts, cards, donations, exclusive perks, that sort of stuff. And having a referral program, especially having it systemized and having a visual representation of what the program looks like, that could be very powerful and a very easy way to just increase your LTV. So you can equip clients with easy to share tools. So as one of the rewards, for example, branded landing pages, testimonials, request links, social sharing prompts. Like, it's very easy tools to have, and it's very easy to help out. Publicly recognize referrals in newsletters or events to reinforce that behavior. So these clients are your friends. I know it's a business, but treat them as your friends, because I mean, they very generously gave you some money. So that's always one way to see it. But it's about building relationships. Like, this is what I keep reiterating. It is a relationship built business. RE is 100% that. And having I would publicly recognize them in newsletters or events to reinforce that behavior. It's a very subtle nod, but that's going to reinforce in the client's mind that, oh, this person actually cares about me. Because if you are in the niche to, let's have a look here. If you are in the niche to help or to grow, that's a really easy way to do both. Just giving them a hi, saying hello. If you see them in the bar, see them out in public, stuff like that. A really easy way to help out. But yeah, that is everything. So if you follow one of these 4 pillars, you can do all 4 of these if you like. I would recommend thinking about all 4, but again, it's about plates. Which one's spinning, which one's about to crack, focus on that one, because you should be focusing on one of these 4 in a day, if not all 4, but it really depends on your day-to-day and stuff like that. If you're in a position where you feel like you can't even think about dedicating at least 3 or 4 hours to, one of these a day, you need to do some deep reflection on, is your time being valued the best? If it's not, that has to change first before we even consider anything like this. So follow that 20-80 rule, that 80-20 rule. If you really want to, read the 4-Hour Workweek. Is a great read. It really helps you understand the priority between actually getting stuff done. So one thing as well, and this is what I mentioned about offer valuing as well, I just wanted to make sure that you understood this fully. Making it easier to work with you. So this kind of goes into LTV as well, or referral building as well. Offering free products, which this video recommends here. Getting towards the end of the video now, so I thought I'd recommend this one. Just shout out to the video there. But remember that you're the end goal, not the product. If there's a final note, stop selling yourself and the sales will come. So if you just focus on being the best agent you can be, building those great connections, building great lead gen services, focusing on improving the way you get better at sales, and focusing on the value you actually bring to your clients, you're going to do well in business and you're going to have record months like you've never had before. But yeah, that's everything. Any questions? DM me on Instagram or DM me in the comments here. I'm more active on Instagram, but feel free to comment here as well if you've got any questions, concerns, or anything I can help with. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. See ya.